Bre Gotham, everyone.
Yay!
So, once again, anyone, if you have any questions, let us know in the chat. You can also talk shit with Lol if you would like to. She is there to chat with you in the comments. I will ask Bre any questions you have. Let's go.
Let's do it. Ask me some questions.
Okay, so actually before, when all of this was happening, Bre, we did have someone in the comments who wanted to know how long you've been using Procreate specifically.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I have been using it for 7 or 8 years now. I can't remember exactly, but a long time.
Oh, you're like OG Procreate user.
Yeah, a little bit.
Dang. All right. Can do with that.
Yeah. It's been fun.
Dakota would actually like to know if you're planning on doing any. Honestly, I don't know if I can say this here because like brands and stuff.
Right.
But they want to know if you're going to be doing any WandaVision art.
Ooh, it's very possible.
Have you been watching WandaVision?
I sure have. And if this is the Dakota that I know, hello Dakota. Yeah, I think so. That would be fun. It's a good show so far. It's really interesting.
It just gets better every episode. Yeah, I think
it's super cool.
Radish Cabbage would like to know what's your favorite brush.
My favorite brush? Okay, that's a cool question. Because it often changes. Lately, I've been loving the pastels in the retro max packs. They're really super grainy and crazy. But before, I was using a lot of the Max U gouache retro and the flat brush. Love those ones a lot. I tend to lean on those brushes quite a bit. And then sometimes I will use the gouache natural flat brush, which I had originally started this painting with, but I was kind of digging this I don't know, I say like thicker brush. It looks cooler with this piece to me, so I just use this one.
Sweet, and we've actually got Max in the comments. Hey Max.
Oh my gosh, hi. That's terrifying. How cool.
So yeah, for everyone who is unfamiliar with Max's brushes, Max is in the comments here and he creates some spectacular brushes.
They really look amazing. I mean, look at that. It looks crazy. So pretty. Yeah. And I use them pretty exclusively.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks. Probably not, actually. That was on your Instagram. I've seen you talk about Max's brushes all the time on your Instagram.
All the time.
All the time. So who are the characters that we're painting? Do they have backstories or did you just create them for the stream? What's up?
Yeah, so they kind of do have a backstory, a little bit. A really long time ago, when I was a young person, teenager, and I was drawing all sorts of different characters, I had just recently met my now husband and his sister, and they were so cool and so interesting, and they still are. But I created villainous characters based on their personalities. And so this is like an update of those characters. Yeah, I think they're pretty fun.
Do they know that you created villainous characters after that?
They do. They know and they love it, so it's even better.
Excellent. I remember one time, it was many years ago, I think my aunt was writing a novel and the villain in her book had the same name as my sister, and I don't think that wasn't intentional, but she had the same name and my sister was a little bit off-put by it. So.
That is so awesome. Yeah, I love it. And I thought they would just make some really interesting poses, and I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I have gotten a few things done on this painting already, though, so we'll see.
So you just mentioned interesting poses and stuff there. How do you go about deciding what poses you're doing? Do you use references? Do you make your own references? Do you find them elsewhere? What's the go with that?
All of the things above. So a lot of times when I'm looking to do some weird poses, I will look at like Pinterest for like model poses, weirdly. And then a lot of other times, if I can't find like the right reference that I'm looking for, I will just take a picture of myself or my husband and tell him to do the weird pose, which in this case I actually did with this pose, because it was a weird one to try and figure out. But you know, he's a great model, so.
And how does he feel about posing for your references? Is it a little bit weird at first? Is he used to it now?
It's pretty awkward sometimes, because I'm like, no, you have to move your body in a strange way. And it makes it more fun that way.
Can definitely be a little bit weird.
Yeah. But that's one thing I kind of love about like character art, is you can do some strange poses, and it just makes it like more characteristic.
Absolutely. How would you recommend that people go about doing that though, Bre? Because, you know, breathing life into your characters with gesture and with exaggerated movements can be really, really difficult for people to get a hold of.
Oh yeah, it is super hard. It took me a really long time to kind of understand like how a gesture works and what that means and how it kind of plays into the story of a character. Excuse me, drinking some tea. And I think what helps a lot as far as like finding the gesture, and I know this kind of sucks a little bit because you don't want to have to do this, but like stereotyping a little bit will help you kind of find a gesture. Like for these characters, they're not good guys, and it's kind of obvious. And so if we're going for suave, if we're going for bad guy, like, you know, their noses are way up above you kind of deal, I have to make it look like that with the pose, the action. And so, you know, with her face, she's so uplifted, she's like, I am above you, you know. So I try to capture that that gesture, and with those, let's see if I can try. I'm just going to do the lines, and I try to use the lines that would kind of make for the emotion. Like if I want suave, I'm going to go like really S curvy, and then she's got really like upwards C curve thing going on here. So yeah, try to match the pose to the character, to the stereotype, sort of. I'm gonna figure out where I am. What colors am I doing?
Just appearing. Nice little delay there between what I'm seeing on screen and what Bre's explaining to me, everyone. So this, I was just like, oh, the gesture lines? What? There they are, they've appeared.
Sorry, the delay. I kind of forgot about that.
No. Yeah, me too, which is why I was so confused. For a second there, I stressed that the feed had cut out again. Nah, we're all good. So, you said, I think before everyone could actually hear you breathe,
right.
I asked you how long you'd been drawing for, and you said your mum says that you've been drawing since you're like 2, 3, 4 years old.
Yes,
Do you know
little.
what sparked that interest? Do you have a creative family, or is it just something that kind of happened?
It was something that kind of happened, and I'm gonna use this one. So I think it was the moment that I was like a little kid, and I wanted to be like a pet shop owner, and like, you know, like every little kid does. they wanna have their own pet shop and take care of animals and be all adorable and stuff. And what I did at that time was I drew my pet shop, and I drew my home above the pet shop and everything, and it was like this really nice drawing, and I had all the animals and myself as a character in there. And I guess that was the moment that I was like, hey, wait, like I can kind of do this. I can kind of draw things, and it doesn't look like super bad as a 4-year-old. And then I was starting to like copy my own t-shirts and stuff, like there's a lot of iconic stuff on t-shirts and whatnot, so I started drawing on those, or drawing those in the mirror and stuff, and I guess it never really stopped. I just kind of fell in love with drawing stuff, and then I had a really supportive family, and they got me all sorts of those like how to draw books, and like draw this bird or draw this thing, and just kind of worked out. So mostly I became like self-taught, sort of, except for like some art classes in school, what we did have for those. So
do you have, aside from like art school or art classes in school and stuff, do you have any additional art training, or are you all self-taught?
Mostly self-taught, yeah, except for like those classes, and then like asking people like other artists how to do things, I guess. Yeah. And then a lot of it is just I've had to figure a bunch of stuff out, especially like digital art, because a lot of the digital art wasn't really a thing, very accessible around here at that time, when I was like a young teenager and stuff like that, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So I had to teach myself a lot of digital stuff. So I learned on Photoshop, like everybody. And then I learned Illustrator and InDesign. And I had the Wacom tablet, so I was just really lucky with like, I guess, a really supportive family who kind of like saw the future basically, and were like, well, you're gonna need these things.
Yeah, well, that's really cool. I think a lot of people sadly just don't have a huge value in the arts. They don't think that it is a great place to go in life. So to have a supportive family behind you is
it was
such an incredible thing, such a gift.
I just realized I'm kind of not doing exactly what I wanted. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, it's been really important.
Siren Pendragon. That's cute. In the comments there, they said, when I got my iPad and I got Procreate, that was when I knew art was for me.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's really lovely. So did you find it difficult to move into digital art?
Well, at that time, with like so little like resources, it was weird, I had to, it's not like it is now, so I had to have a Wacom tablet, I had to have Photoshop, I had to have a scanner and a printer and like, all of the things to make one drawing happen. So it was like a lot of extra work, I would say, to get a drawing done. And then mostly it was like I was drawing on paper, and then I would scan it into the computer, and then I would fudge around in Photoshop and see what worked and made it look good. And then I had like some of those books that came with DVDs. So it was like, I'll teach you how to do Photoshop on this DVD. So I had to go through those things. Yeah, it was a lot. It's I wouldn't say it's easier now, but there's definitely less process.
Absolutely. I think it's becoming more and more accessible, which is really exciting. Whether that's on on Procreate, or whether it is using a more affordable Wacom tablet with Photoshop, all of that sort of stuff. It's so exciting to see the digital art industry booming.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Feels like I went in the right direction.
Absolutely. I've got a lovely comment here in the chat, Bre. It said, Bre is the reason I still pick up a pen and draw.
Oh my god. Oh, that is so kind. That's wonderful.
Aww. It seems that you may have given someone your old iPad, maybe when you updated.
Yes.
I don't know. Bre gave me her iPad about 2 years ago, and I haven't looked away from it since.
Yep, that's my wonderful sister-in-law, who I love so much.
Aww.
Whoa.
The comments are so lovely right now. I have to stop looking at them. All right. Okay.
Oh, that's so cute.
Someone else says, "Have you ever done animation, Bre?"
Only a tiny little bit of practice. I've done like basic animating, like a bouncy ball, and a couple things. It's not anything worthwhile because I still need a whole lot of practice. So, but I want to real bad. I'm gonna go and learn after like
it's super fun.
Michael or something. He's cool.
It's really, for me personally, it's such an interesting space to be in little animation with like Procreate's Animation Assist. I've dabbled around doing animated stuff. I don't quite get it. I don't think my brain is in that space.
Yeah.
But I would like to get there one day.
Yeah, and the Procreate system like makes things happen for me, and that's how I could even do any of the animating that I have done now. Is this, and the timing stuff is so cool. I freaking love it. But yeah, like as far as like numbers in animating and stuff like that, like I'm not quite there yet, but I'll get there eventually when I have time.
SWVGMC, I don't know if that was meant to be like I'm really good with names on YouTube, so this person here says they like to do art, but they don't feel like they have much creativity. Do you have any advice for expanding that creativity?
Ooh, yes. Okay, so I ebb and flow a whole lot with moments of hyper creativity and then moments of like nothing. So seriously, like don't fret those moments of nothing, because like it can be scary. It can feel like you're not getting anywhere, or you're just like, oh, I'm done with being creative and it's over forever. But that's just like your brain can't be creative at every single moment of time. So let your mind rest for one. I know I've had to do a whole lot of resting the last couple of months here, but when you feel like there's something, like, I don't know how to explain it, bubbling in your head, and there's like just the faintest little idea, make sure to just like write it down, or start drawing something. Just like, even if it's a really bad sketch, like I've had to do that too, but I want to get this like random idea out, and I just let it come when it happens. So I'm not gonna force like being creative, because it's probably not going to be super great. You're probably just going to get angry, you know? So yeah, let yourself rest, let it come naturally, and then find things that you enjoy doing to build up that motivation and create creative energy. Like when I'm feeling super down and not, that creative stuff is just not there, I have to go do something else. I go drink coffee, I go watch TV. That's a good way to get creativity back, actually. Or go outside, do some yoga, something. You know, I know these are like really basic things, and everybody's like, oh yeah, of course you would go and do yoga, but like actually it helps.
Yeah, I think it's really important to make sure that, as you've said, that you're not being hard on yourself in those periods. You know, go and change things up, do something else, and get your brain out of that space where you're being down on yourself and trying to force creativity, because it's just not going to happen.
Right. It doesn't work. That was a great question.
So probably something to follow on from that one, Bre. Do you ever experience imposter syndrome?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I have terrible imposter syndrome. And yeah, like even coming onto the stream, I'm like, I don't even know like how I could do this. Like major panic. I don't even, like sometimes I'm just like I don't know how anybody looks at my artwork and says anything nice. And I know these are very, very negative things to say about myself, but it, you know, it's just what happens. That's what imposter syndrome does, and you just kind of have to battle it. You have to go through and be like, no. You know, there's a reason people are here. There's a reason people say these nice things, and there's a reason, like, I'm on this stream right now, probably.
Cool Things DIY asks, what is imposter syndrome? So for those of you who maybe haven't heard this term before, it's really common in the creative industry, but also everywhere else in other industries. But basically, imposter syndrome is when you're doing your thing, right? And then the little voice in your head is just like, why are you doing the thing? You're not good enough to be doing the thing. And it can really affect how you perceive yourself and the work that you're putting out in that time. But as Bre's just said, it's important that when you do get that hit of imposter syndrome, to sit back and go, okay, no, well, there is a reason that I'm doing this, and there's a reason why I've been chosen for this. And in Bre's example here with her on the stream, I wouldn't have asked her to stream if I didn't think she was really, really cool, right? So
yeah,
when you kind of like get to that point, it's important to take stock and just be like, no, there is a reason I'm here, and imposter syndrome, you can shut up.
Yes, exactly. Even though sometimes
radish cabbage says anxiety as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it can be really, really bad. It can be really hard to deal with, but you're all awesome. Everyone here is cool, and you can do the thing. So do the thing. Do the thing.
Hey, I have a sticker about that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. It's like my motto.
That says do the thing.
Do the thing.
Excellent. I love this. Someone would like to know if there were any brands or companies. Here we go again. I don't know what the legal implications around mentioning brands and stuff on streams are. We're just going to pretend like it's okay for now.
No problem. I will be as careful as I can be.
Yeah, I guess they would like to know if you could collab or work with any brand or company. Who would it be?
Oh my god, Marvel?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that would be
like,
cool.
By far. So I've always wanted to work with Marvel. I thought, yeah, that would be something. I'd really love that. Marvel, if you're listening.
That would be super cool. Yeah, hey Marvel. Hey. Hello. What particular branch of Marvel, like, is there a favorite character that you have that you'd really love to work on?
Yeah. It's Miles Morales, obviously. Huge
cool.
fan of that, and that's kind of what got me started on all of my Instagram stuff anyway, so that was really cool. I am not liking that. That's weird. But yeah, Miles Morales, I would love to do, like, if they ever did a Miles Morales Spider-Verse TV show, I would just... Oh, yeah. It'd be so cool. I'd be on it.
That would be so awesome. I still remember going to see Into the Spider-Verse in the cinema the first time and just absolutely blown away. I'm sure everyone else was too, right? Like, that's not an uncommon opinion.
Yeah, it's the best movie.
Absolutely incredible. Cannot wait for number 2.
Same. And I know they keep having to push things back, but it's like, it's okay. It's going to be great when it comes out.
It's going to be totally worth the wait.
Sorry, this is, I'm going very slow because I'm talking at the same time, and I'm just like trying not to forget what I'm doing.
I'm so sorry. That's me just talking shit at you.
No, it's super cool. And if anybody has any questions or anything, I totally can help out, hopefully.
Christina would like to know, do you prefer to feel free with your colors, or do you like to limit yourself with your palettes?
I tend to limit my palettes. Like this is a lot right here, but it's because I have a plan. I have an idea. And I will be executing that idea in a more limited palette. But I just wanted to get these like undertones in here and, you know, make them look like people, not just like solid figures. Sorry, trying to remember where my lighting is, and I may have to change some things, but we'll go with it for now.
We'll see where we end up.
Yeah, pretty much. I do that a lot.
Yeah, right? Have fun with it. Just see what happens.
Let's not do that.
And someone in the comments has obviously seen that you've used Procreate Pocket a little bit, and they wanted to know what your favorite things about Procreate Pocket are.
Oh my gosh, because it's there like anytime I need it, like any moment. So, and I really take advantage of that. So like if I'm waiting at the doctor's office with my kids, I will bust out Procreate Pocket and draw whatever. I'll like draw the person sitting across from me or whatever. And then, like, even at the bus stop and stuff like that, it's always accessible for me. And I love that because, like, in those really random spurts or moments of hyper creativity, it's perfect. And I don't need a pencil or anything. I just kind of go and quickly sketch out something, and it's there. And it's so nice. And usually, another thing I love is that with the finger painting on Pocket, it feels like such a true, like, straight expression from my hands. Just like, bam, you know? Whereas sometimes when I'm drawing on my iPad, it can be very convoluted or very, like, not as free-flowed as something on my Pocket version. So even this drawing that I'm working on right now, this was a sketch in Pocket beforehand, and I wonder if I had yeah, I did. I have the sketch on here from Pocket. I'm trying to get rid of things here. And it must be like way down. Oh no, sorry, it's under the other one. There we go. So it's a big mess, obviously, because my Pocket drawings aren't like super perfect all the time. But that was the idea, and it came out of nowhere. You know, I was like, oh, you know what? I should go and draw those two villains that I created way long time ago. And I did. And it came out to be pretty awesome. And definitely something that I love doing on the stream because it's fun.
It hasn't been shared yet, everyone watching, but Bre actually worked on a Procreate Pocket commission for us with the latest Procreate Pocket update. It will be shared on our social media platforms very soon.
I'm so stoked.
It's such a fun piece. It's so bright and colorful. You guys will love it when you get to see it.
Thank you.
But it's how did you find that process, Bre? I think working on an actual commission on a tiny screen.
It wasn't actually that, like, hard. It was just, like, kind of longer, like, extending my sketch process and making sure that it was, like, more cleaned up. And it took a lot longer with my finger, obviously. Like, it would take a shorter amount of time on the iPad to color it up. But it wasn't all that different from doing a commission on the iPad. It was just like, I just got to color and figure out how things work a little bit differently on Pocket without just a sketch, you know. So it wasn't so bad, and finger painting was efficient. I mean, it got it done.
Yeah. I think that might be your husband in the chat there who says it's perfect, seeing as Bre is actually pocket sized.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, call outs.
Yep, I am a tiny person.
DJ Stevenson wants to know how you balance between anatomy and shape language.
Ooh, oh, that's a fun one. How do I do that? Let's see. I would say, like Maxi Lickney says, pick a shape. Pick the shape you want to go with for your piece. And this is a really good example. The shapes that I kind of went with were like really roundy triangle shapes, I guess. So she's kind of got a rounded triangle on her head, and he's a really rounded triangle on his like torso area. So I would say use those shapes, and then like have your references ready, whether it be like you took a picture of yourself in the pose, or you have like this crazy like Pinterest guy running and jumping or something like that. And so play around with the shapes using that gesture or that real human anatomy. And that's something that I try to go with a lot, is like actual real life, instead of like just trying to make up a pose in my head. I used to do that a lot, and obviously like things didn't come out exactly right? Like maybe legs looked way too long, or like the neck was too long, or something like that. And when you kind of base it on real human anatomy and pair it with the shapes, it works a little bit better, and it kind of like smashes together and makes a thing.
Yeah, I think that's a really good answer. What do you reckon, DJ Stevenson? Did that answer your question? I'm sure he'll let us know when he hears that.
Hi,
after
DJ.
the little delay in the stream there.
I'm the wrong guy.
Raquel would like to know, back on the color palettes, how do you define your color palette? Do you go in with a preset idea, or does it kind of just come to you?
Sometimes it just comes to me. Sometimes I'm just like, I explode with like an idea of color, and then most of the time I will use my color palettes here. So there's a mess. There's like a mess of color palettes in here. But yeah, I try to kind of pair things together, or use like the value system. And with this piece here, I actually kind of went through and pre-did my color palettes. Like I had some ideas that I wanted for it, and then I put them down in little tiny versions. There's a whole bunch of them, as you can see. So I had a lot of ideas. I was like, I don't know, maybe I want it green and purple, or maybe I want it blues and pinks, and I kind of went towards this one right here, sorry. That one. And I know it's probably trying to catch up in this one. So yeah, have an idea of what you're going into, mostly, and then I don't know, sometimes I just go with the flow and see what happens, and I like it.
So do you find that thumbnailing really helps you? Is that a common process for your workflow?
In some things, yes, but in other pieces, like, if I'm playing a safe drawing and I just like draw a cool, stylish girl, then I will tend to just use whatever colors kind of like look cool on the piece and that I'm feeling at that moment. And I know it's like really random, but yeah. But the thumbnail is definitely really fun. Good idea to get the ideas out.
Yeah, definitely.
See which one's going to be the best one, you know?
Max would like to know how you fit in your personal work, or how do you do your personal work? When do you fit it in?
I barely do. I do so many commissions. Yeah, I guess I just kind of do my own work when I'm feeling that most like creative stuff, and then it'll just pop out and I'm like, okay, cool, it's done, now I can go do more commissions.
Just kind of fitting it in wherever you can.
Yeah, pretty much.
So how do you keep, or I mean, if you're just fitting out your personal art in where you can, how do you keep a nice work-life balance?
Yeah. I wish I knew the answer to that.
I'm kind of asking for my own personal knowledge and asking for a friend, you know, because like it's something I struggle with.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, and then outside of like work and stuff, like the commissions and stuff that I have to do, I have kids and a regular old life and stuff, so it's difficult for sure. Basically flying by the seat of my pants all the time. But it's fun.
It's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay. I feel like I have done a lot of slow coloring on this. Forgot that I wanted to finish her dress here. That might be too light. I hope this is, I don't know, I hope it's looking good.
Looks good to me.
Sweet. Oh, I know what I need to do.
There's a lot of fire emojis from Edwin in the chat there, so I'm assuming it's looking good to everyone else too.
Oh, I hope so. Maybe she's looking real pretty, real something there. Okay.
Radish Cabbage
yes.
would like to know, what are some things that give you inspiration?
Definitely like watching cartoons, or I don't know, it's so hard because lately it's come very randomly, inspiration. It's very sporadic, but yeah, I would say like watching my favorite cartoons or something, and then daily life in general. I know that's kind of difficult right now, like during a pandemic and stuff, like it's hard to get out and stuff, but yeah, just people and things, and I just find inspiration wherever it comes from.
Any cartoon recommendations then? So some stuff that we should definitely be watching.
Yeah, lately I've been on such a huge Bob's Burgers kick. Like I cannot.
Oh yeah.
I can't stop watching it. It's so much fun. Sorry, just trying to decide what I want to do here, and I know where I want to go, but I have to decide which thing I'm doing next.
Francie, how are you streaming the iPad? Well, this is the big question. So what we're doing is we've got, it was a whole thing because it depends whether you're using a PC or a MacBook as to how the particular setup is going to vary for you. But for us on this particular stream, Bre's using a PC on the other end, so we've got her iPad hooked into the PC, and we are using OBS to actually stream to Procreate's YouTube channel. But we're also using a piece of software called Air Server, which is mirroring the iPad through to OBS so that it can stream to YouTube. So it's a little bit of a convoluted setup for our iPad through to PC. If you're using a MacBook and an iPad, then I mean that's what I've used. So personally, I find it a lot easier. But it connects through, and you can push it to YouTube. That's a lot more simplified, but there are some really great tutorials out there on YouTube about how you can do those streaming setups. So if it's something that you would like to do, definitely look into it. There's also a software, I think it's by OBS as well, it's called Streamlabs. You'll probably see a lot of your favorite Twitch streamers using that one. You can do fun little skins and stuff on it. So there's some options there that you can kind of play with.
Yeah. It was fun trying to get that set up.
Yeah, it was. We had this whole thing, everyone. We did a test stream with Bre last Friday, Australian time, and all of our settings were the same on my end and on her end, but it just wasn't showing up on her end. So that was a whole thing, and we had to get one of the other guys from Savage here managed to remote connect to her computer over in the US and set it all up for us. So shout out to Nate, thanks for helping.
Yes, thank you so much.
We got there.
It was cool. This probably looks hilarious right now, but it's definitely not finished, so.
Skin tones are hard. Getting those different color variations.
And I am like, I do really weird stuff, but it, you know, eventually it works out, I think.
Alex the boy got his iPad a few weeks ago.
Woo!
He got the Air. Awesome. Nice. The Air is a great device.
And that works with Procreate as well, right?
It sure does. Arcadia wants to know who's your favorite Bob's Burger character.
Tina.
Good choice. Peter broke their Apple Pencil by accident last week. No. Oh, heartbreak.
Oh,
feeling for you. One like equals one prayer. Some love in the chat for you, Bre, and for your art.
Oh gosh, thank you all so much. That's awesome. I'm just really messing around with this painting, so like talking and painting at the same time is so interesting.
Have you done much streaming before?
No, this is the first one.
Oh, damn!
Yeah.
Nice! I hope it hasn't scared you off with the audio dropouts and trying to set it up last Friday.
I figured those things would happen, so I went in it with like open mind.
Well, you might have some stream requests after this then. Maybe it's something you could add to your Patreon.
I've been trying to. I'm so bad at that. Okay, she's going 50. What's happening? Oh,
Des Champ would like to know, how do you learn to draw hands well?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, no.
Oh, hands are probably one of the hardest things to learn, I think, except for feet. Feet were like super difficult for me, but yeah, I did that thing where I got one of those books that said how to draw, and it said how to draw hands. So the
entire book for this.
Pretty much, I copied everything that I could from that, and then like watched a lot of anime. I know that's kind of crazy, but like I learned how to draw hands a lot from anime. Like, I'm not gonna lie, because they have some really interesting ways of doing things. And then I take, you know, I kind of look at other people's art a lot, like Mike Mignola. Like, he's got some insane hands. The way he draws hands is so cool. So I try to like I don't know, I just look at that and I get inspired.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike's work is sick.
And he's such a cool person.
Have you met him in person?
Yeah, we met at the Lightbox Expo, and he was so nice.
I didn't get a chance to meet him at Lightbox. Devastated.
Oh, he was so cool. And of
I'd
course,
say I met you at Lightbox, though, so that's fine.
Yeah. And even this year's, or last year's, Lightbox was so cool. It was so much fun, and like we got the bag from Mike McNolan and stuff, and everything was just so cool about that. I love it. Hopefully we'll do it again.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed. I did miss Lightbox in person last year. Missed all events in person last year.
Yeah. Ooh. I know I keep going back and forth from different brushes here, but I am trying to stay within the same kind of brushes, like the pastels. Like, I'm going back from the pastel natural to the flat one here, and in another section of my painting, the flat one is like all I used, so we'll see how it goes. With like these kind of like where there's such a number of brushes in the pack here, I would like stick in the same like section sort of brushes. Like, I'm not gonna go do the pastel brush and mix it up with like the natural gouache or something like that, because that might look funny. So yeah. Keep the same kind of
Tiffany has just asked if you're painting on the same layer for each character.
Yes, that is a super good question. Actually, yes. So my lady here is layer 6, and yes, I painted on the same layer. So I started with the flat color of her skin, and then I go in and I alpha lock it, and then I color inside, basically coloring inside the lines for alpha lock. And I know it's a kind of destructive way of doing things, but I try to do that to lessen the amount of layers that I'm using, and it makes it kind of blend a little bit better for me. And eventually, like, I would collapse more layers together and flatten things and kind of go in and paint more stuff on top of all of the things flattened so that it looks cohesive. But like when you're first starting out and stuff, like when I was first starting out, every single thing was a different layer. So it would go like her skin, her hair is another layer, her eyeballs another layer. Like, it was so separated and clear. But when you get more used to things, that's when I would say you could like just color, just color on top of things.
And that's the advantage of digital, though, right, everyone? Is that you can kind of like, if you stuff up, you can fix it. Yes,
eventually. Or like sometimes if I've gone way too far, then maybe not. But but yeah, that's something I love about digital art, and the fact that I don't use a whole lot of paper, because I used to use lots. I was the kind of artist that was like, draw something small on a piece of paper, and then I didn't like it, and then I threw it away.
Do you ever dabble in traditional art these days?
Yes, I sure do. I still have a bunch of sketchbooks I try to draw in, or there was like a short period of time there where I was painting and stuff. I just haven't gotten back to it in a little while. Like, Pocket kind of allows me to draw wherever I want, so I do that instead. But yeah, I do traditional sometimes. I do miss it though sometimes. Like, it's just nice to sketch on a piece of paper often,
Do you use a screen protector to help emulate that sort of feel on iPad?
No, I don't. I wish I did. I want to try them, but for now, like, I've gotten so used to a slippery screen after this long of digital art that it's like it's not a big deal for me to draw on a slippery screen or not have that texture. So yeah.
Someone here in the chat says when I'm drawing I get up to 100 layers. That's so many layers.
That is a lot of layers.
So many layers. Oh, Alex says, I don't know if this is directed at all of the chat or whether they're asking us, but what's your guys' favorite brush? One favorite brush. Oh, goodness. One favorite brush. That's hard.
Yeah. What did I say earlier? It's hard to say, like, to have a favorite brush because I go between so many different brushes. Like, lately I have really loved these pastel brushes because they're so, like, grainy and, like, thick. I know that's kind of weird to say for, like, a 2D screen and stuff, but they just feel that way for me. And I love texture in brushes. That's why I love Max's brushes because they're, like, hyper textured. But then, like, before I was using the gouache retro, like that one, the flat and the wash together. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. I just think they're beautiful. And then occasionally, like if I'm feeling really like a good artist, I'll use this natural flat or the natural gouache brushes. And they're gorgeous, but you know, it's technique. You gotta kind of know what to do with the brush. I would say. It's dark. Yeah. Oops. And it's kind of hard to tell while I'm, you know, not on camera or anything, but I do use my finger to blur. I'm sorry, not blur. Blend, sort of.
Blend.
Yeah. So instead of using like the smudge, like with your brush or your pencil, I use it with my fingers, and it kind of, I don't know, Max, if he's still here, if he had that intention of it working like that, but it works really well.
He's still here. I'm sure he'll let us know if he had that intention or not. This is so cool to watch.
I am so glad.
This is the problem I have with streams usually, is that like I'm meant to be here talking to you, but I just want to watch you draw.
That is very, very sweet. I was like, oh man, I hope this is like not crazy, because I'm sure it does look insane at moments. I'm like,
not at all. Oh, officially in from Max. He did intend that.
Nice. Thank you, Max.
Excellent.
Well, it works really well, and it looks beautiful when it's finished. Yeah. You know what? This is a point. I know it's probably delayed, but this is where I might use a different layer for something on his skin where I need it to be like multiplied below or something, but I feel like
we might see some blend modes happening.
Yeah, he needs some like shadow. He needs some 5 o'clock, you know. I haven't done a lot in this drawing yet, but I'm going very slow. It might not be finished by the time we're ready to be done.
That's okay. It doesn't have to be finished at all in this stream. We'll post it for everyone to see later when it is done after the stream.
Yay! that looks kind of cool. Oh yeah, I love this eraser, and I've used it pretty much non-stop forever. The gouache shredded brush for my eraser. I love it.
Ooh.
Because it gives such a cool texture when it's all done. It's neat.
I'm having to slightly imagine what it is at this point, just because it's not caught up on the screen yet. I'm sure it'll come up soon.
I hope so. And at this point, I'm trying to remember how beards work. Sometimes it's hard to remember things. Like that's where I would go and draw from real life, is like, if I can't remember how something works in real life, I'm gonna have to look at it and see how it actually functions.
Yeah, totally.
Kinda. I like that. And on this little layer, this like beard thing happening, I'm going with a darken layer effect. Is that what we call those? Effect?
Blend mode.
Yeah, blend mode. Thank you. Yeah.
Which is convenient because Radish has just asked, do you play much with layer modes while working on a piece?
I sure do. I mean, it's digital art. I don't see a reason to not use those. if you have access to them. Yeah, that looks really good. I like that. And yeah, so I use them for things like this, like his beard, or 5 o'clock shadow, or whatever you're gonna call it. It doesn't need to be like a super high opacity thing, but I am going to merge it down with his character, and then it just like looks cool, and then I can kind of paint some stuff in there and make it really together. I don't know, cohesive. Sometimes. Go away. There we go.
I see Artmash has appeared in the comments here, Alex, wanting to know what he should draw this week, and Lol has just suggested the Artmash.
Oh, nice.
Artmash.
Yeah.
You haven't done Artmash, Bre?
I haven't done it yet. I want to so bad. Every time I see it, I'm like, ooh, that could be fun.
Such a fun little thing that we do every week. I love it. It's like so exciting to try and come up with the 3 different prompts. If you guys haven't seen Artmash, it's on our Instagram and Twitter channels. It's a new thing every week. We give out a little trio of prompts, and you can pick your level, essentially. You can do 1, 2, or all of the prompts, all in the same image.
Oh, yeah. This is looking pretty fun. I'm taking a lot longer on this than I had anticipated, but it's still fun. It's still pretty cool. And yeah. Okay. So, just for fun talking point here, when I'm drawing something, I will tend to like color and draw while I'm zoomed out, if that makes sense, not zoomed in super close. I feel like it kind of helps get things a little coordinated with the piece, like a little, I don't know, it's hard to explain what I'm talking about here, but when I'm drawing super close in, like that, it's probably not caught up with the screen on YouTube, but like, if it's super close in, you can't like capture the whole thing going on, because you can't see what's going on. So if it's zoomed out, you know, you can get more of those finer details. I put finer in quotes, because you can see everything. You can see the whole picture and like the motion of everything. And when I see something that's maybe like, oh, I could fix that, then I'll zoom in and fix the thing and then zoom back out. So like her.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point to make, is that if you like zoom in really close, you can get sucked into doing the tiny details that may not necessarily work with the entire overall piece.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have you ever used reference window to help with that, Bre?
Oh yeah, of course. I guess it must have disappeared on here, but I haven't used the reference window for that specifically, but I do use it for my references. So I've pulled that up now. This piece right here, this was like a random Google image I found that I loved the color palette of. So that was kind of my like idea for this piece, was this like really bright neon color palette. And I know I've like not even gotten there on what I'm doing right now, but I love that reference window. Usually it's up.
Christine would like to know, how would you recommend that someone learns lighting? Because like a lot of your artwork has super funky lighting. It's really cool, really well done. So how would you go about, you know, advising people to learn that?
Lighting. Okay, so a lot of times lighting is like my most difficult thing, and usually, I know this is strange, but it just kind of happens. And then I'm like, okay, that looks really good, that's there, it's there. But like obviously I go in with the idea and the intention of, okay, there is a light source, there's going to be this light source coming from this way, and I need to cast the shadows in the other way, and the bright highlights in this way, and so it's a really basic way of thinking about lighting, but for the most part it's pretty effective. And then, you know, when I go in and I do the lighting on digital, I actually have a lighting layer sort of in here already, sort of. It's not actually complete, but I'll bring that up. So when I think about this lighting, I'm going with the intention of this lighting. There's pink lights, and there's like teal blue background. So the way the lighting is going to affect these characters is they're going to be kind of doused in this pink neon light, and they're going to have some blues coming from behind them. So I go in with the idea, like, I know where I want things to be, and then try to pull from real life again as to how lighting affects 3D objects, pretty much. So when I'm finished with this, it'll look much different, because there'll be lighting from the back that will affect the back of them, and will treat them differently from the front. So yeah.
It sounds really difficult to do.
It is really difficult, but what I try to do is look at like movies and cinema for lighting technique, because a lot of times the lighting will have an intention, and it's meant to bring on a specific emotion with the way things are lit in cinema. And so I try to capture that with the color and the lighting and the just the effect that like movies have with lighting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I think it's actually looking pretty cool with the lighting that I do have so far. And what I've done on this layer for the pink and the blue lighting is it's a multiply layer. So if you can see the little tiny window on the layer, they're in pink. I've selected both these characters previously, so I select them in here, and then I drop a pink over the top on this next layer, and then I just filled the background with blue so it multiplies to the layers below it too. Because I have a background, I have a plan here, but it's not exactly finished. But I think at this point I can pull that up, and it's finally coming together. So there's that. It's a little dark. I'm gonna take it down tiny bit. Yeah, it's looking okay. And then something else I've done with this piece, which I will take us out for. I made the bar sign as a separate piece here.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so we're calling it the candy bar. So I with this one I used the, where is it? The calligraphy brush, the monoline brush. So efficient for that.
Monoline is a personal favorite of
I
mine.
love it. I love that one for fonts specifically, because I am so bad at doing fonts. So I had to create that previously, and then I put it in the back here. I've got a bunch of things happening with these. And there we go. It's coming together. It's not totally ready yet, but we're getting there. Yeah. So when I keep going here and I add in the lighting effects, the neon sign is blue, it looks like, or bluish purple, pinky. So I'm going to be adding some blue highlights or dramatic lighting to like what looks like the back of them, because I'm trying to imagine them in a 3D space, as we should. So
That can be really hard though, trying to imagine what you're drawing as a 3D space instead of a flat.
yes.
I think for me that's one of the hardest things about drawing.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, I was still on the monoline. Yeah, it's difficult. And I think like the thing I have to do is like I watch a lot of like Disney movies, and the artists who worked on those, they constantly talk about that, like do your stuff in a 3D space. So I try to put that into my brain when I'm working on it. And then this background, sorry, go right off topic from that. The background I did previously pretty exclusively with this pastel flat brush. So there's a lot of like flat lines going on here. And then I've got this another layer. It's just all blue and multiplied again. But I liked the way that it kind of muted the stuff in the background, and I'm actually going to merge that down too, because I feel like it's not necessary to be separate anymore, because I like it with that background so much. anyways, is there any questions or?
Someone in the comments had to step away for a second and they've come back to it having like a full background and everything.
Oh my gosh.
They're like, whoa!
I'm not even close to being done. And yeah, no, it's just stuff that I was doing previously because I wanted to try and see what I could make happen with this piece. Okay.
Don't forget, guys, if you've got any questions for Bre, you can ask them in the comments and I will ask her.
Yes, please. Any questions would be lovely. So I think what I'm going to try to do here is darken some areas on their skin tones again. Whoa. Because they're just not quite there yet for me.
Jaton asks, what's your biggest goal currently?
My biggest goal? Currently, at this moment, trying to just get commissions done.
Fair.
Yeah. And I would love to, like, put more stuff on Patreon and do some videos and stuff. But at the moment, it's just, like, it is so hard. But that's okay. I'll get there.
And Max has asked the same thing, yeah. Oh, Radish asks, what's your all-time favorite color?
Yellow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not what I was expecting.
Really?
Yeah.
I use it a lot in my artwork, and I don't know, it just pops up a lot. I tend to gravitate towards the yellow. Very weird.
No, Alex says, I hope one day I can get as good as you.
Oh my god. That's super sweet. Stop it.
Oh, Radish has the same color. The same favorite color.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
Yeah.
Snap.
He's an amazing artist too, by the way. Just gonna put that out there. He also lives in this area and is just super awesome and uses Procreate, and so cool. So cool to know that person.
Oh, Peter, that seems to be a question for me / Procreate there is, have you ever thought of adding a feature like brush memory for specific artworks? Oh, Peter,
Ooh.
It would be very cool. It would be very cool to add a brush history for your artwork. If you would really like to see this feature, please make sure that you're letting us know on the discussions boards. The ideas and suggestions boards at procreate.art/discussions are where a lot of our engineers will go and take a look, or our QA team, our product care team will go and take a look and just check from time to time about what features are the most requested in the community. So you can go there, and if the feature has not been requested on the boards, you can make a new thread and request it. But if it has been asked already, then you can upvote it so that you can show us at Procreate that that feature is really, really desired. And if it's something that's really wanted by the community and we aren't already building it / haven't already thought of it, we'll definitely consider those features for future updates. Please note though that when I say that, you know, it does take a long time to build features. So even if it's a super popular feature, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make the next update. You know, it doesn't even mean it'll make an update this year, because sometimes things are really, really hard to do. Like Quick Shape, for example, took us so long to develop, because we don't like to release features until they are, you know, until we're happy with them. So if we've got a feature that we're working on and like, yeah, it's okay, but it could be better, we're not going to release it. So let us know on the boards if you have a feature that you would like to see, and our engineering team will definitely hear about it.
That's super cool. And that would be a beautiful feature to have. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it would be a cool feature.
Okay. Pretty much all I'm doing right now is like just focusing on like the darkest things I can see happening. Like I said, this is probably not going to be finished by the time we're done with this stream, so. But something I've noticed here is her shoes, and I'm working on that now. They kind of died with all the dark colors down here. But I'll probably make them like super shiny heels or something.
Oh, nice. Lol would like to know, Bre, what's your favorite place to sit and draw?
Oh, this is really bad for your back, so don't do this. I draw mostly at my countertop. Like,
oh, no.
I sit on the countertop and just draw. It's so bad. Don't do that.
So not even just at the countertop with like words, what are they? iPad stand. You're actually on the countertop drawing.
I'm on the countertop, and my iPad is in its like little foldable case. So yeah, it's still not good though. But yeah, it's where I gravitate. Every time I'm drawing, I'll end up on the countertop. It's very weird. Okay. Alright, this is looking pretty fun, I think.
Nice little shine happening on the heels.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm getting there.
Love me a shiny heel.
It definitely needs a little more though, I think. But I think what I'm going to do is make it really, really like one of those nice, super shiny heels. Might even add like the red bottom to it, because I think that would be sexy.
Another question for me, Christina, with Apple's M1 chip coming out, hopefully also on Mac desktops, would it be possible to run Procreate on it? You know, when that was released, there was a guy on Twitter who was kind of hacking it and making it run on a MacBook. Apple have since patched that. Before that patch, though, technically it did work, but it's not the experience that you have on iPad, because obviously the MacBook doesn't have a touch screen, it doesn't have a pencil. So a lot of those functionalities that make Procreate just weren't there. So you didn't have your gesture interface, you couldn't do all of your shortcuts and all of that. So it was really lacking in experience, and it's not something that we intend to do at this point. We will be keeping Procreate on iOS devices only, where it was designed to be.
Nice.
Alex has to leave us. He's got to go to sleep. Bye.
Oh, bye. I know it's probably super late for a bunch of people. I'm sorry.
What time is it for everyone in the chat? Where are you guys? Let us know. Probably not the best time for Europe, I guess.
Yeah, I totally hadn't thought about that before somebody said Spain's going to be like really, really late. So I was like, oh, whoops.
Yeah, really late in Europe. That's okay. We can't help that. This live stream will be posted to YouTube after the fact, everyone. So if you have to leave or if you've missed a bit of it, we'll be posting when it is live on our Instagram and Facebook and Twitter channels. So you'll be able to come back and watch it whenever you want.
Nice. Okay. All right, let me see.
Oh, we have Selena in Germany, for whom it is 4:41 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
You, what are you doing? You lovely person.
Selena.
You don't have to do this.
Oh, Christina says, I don't know the time. It's lockdown o'clock. Fair.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that makes
Fair.
sense
Time
too.
kind of blurs into one.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just kind of messing around now, trying to like do her hair or something.
Mm.
It was looking a little not quite even there.
Yeah. Selena says, it's fun watching you.
Oh my goodness.
So she's going to be up at 4:40 in the morning watching a live stream. That is dedication.
Just so sweet. I can't even believe that. I gotta say, like, I must have the nicest followers ever. I don't even understand. Like, it's so cool. Definitely need a bigger smudge tool here. We're getting somewhere. This is taking a lot longer than normal for me. Like, a lot of times I would just really go as fast as possible, but I kind of wanted to take my time with this one. Oops.
Dave, I'm always awed by artists who use Procreate like a gazelle with a feather compared to my rhino with a sledgehammer technique.
Aww.
I'm sure that's not correct, Dave.
I'm positive.
MCC Devo wants to ask, what is your process when creating a new character to draw?
Ooh, that's a good question. A lot of times it just, like, a really weird idea will pop up in my brain, and then I kind of, like, I think about it for a minute or two or a while, and then I kind of maybe, like, go on Pinterest and, like, maybe this pose that I saw one time would work with this character, and then I kind of smash it together and draw, usually on Pocket, and then, like, it will become this character because it just kind of happens.
Back to WandaVision in the comments.
Oh, yes. Sometimes with character design, I will have an obvious thing in mind. And, like these characters here, where it was, you know, they kind of had a backstory already, and I already knew kind of what was going on. But yeah, mostly it's just kind of random. And then I have OCs, or original characters, as well. I just don't draw them a lot.
Are they like OCs all the way back from your OG days, or are they recent?
Yeah,
ones?
yeah. Well, I've got like one original character that I have literally drawn like my whole life, and then a few of them have just kind of come in and out of my artwork throughout years. So a lot of them can be seen on my Instagram page.
Well, there you go, Radish. If you would like to see the OCs more, head to Bre's Instagram page. Oh, Max, that is a question.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
He
says, what's your most embarrassing new COVID habit?
I literally cannot stop wearing sweatpants. I can't. I'm far too comfortable.
Oh, totally fair. I have a confession to make, everyone. I am currently wearing pajama pants
Same here.
at Procreate HQ. So yeah, I came into the office. It's Sunday in Australia. I came into the office in my pajamas to do this stream.
That is so rad.
I mean, like, I just couldn't be bothered getting out of them, honestly. And then, secondly, I'd also put all of my pants in the wash. I didn't really think ahead.
You know,
so
I get it. I completely understand. I'm also wearing sweatpants right now. There's a board on my Pinterest, like, exclusively for how to make sweatpants fashionable.
Oh my goodness.
So, like, I'm done wearing regular pants ever again.
So we can expect to see some COVID fashion appearing in your your day-to-day life.
Absolutely.
Post-COVID as well.
Yes.
How to make sweatpants fashionable. I feel like everyone needs to see this.
Yeah. It's important.
Like they need to have those articles, you know? Excellent.
Okay, I'm not going to fudge.
Cool Things DIY. Yes, it is Valentine's Day in Australia.
It is Valentine's Day in Australia. Oh my god. It's almost Valentine's Day here. Woo!
Hey!
Okay. Now I'm just kind of looking around, trying to debate what I want to do next. And I think a lot of it has to do with this background.
Oh, okay, we're getting into the really hard questions now.
Okay, let's do it.
Like really tricky questions. Okay. Oh, goodness. Okay, all right. Radish wants to know if you could have a magical backpack that when you reached into it, you could pull out one dish that was perfectly cooked and plated, what dish would you choose?
It would have to be some really good gluten-free mac and cheese.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that is a very good choice.
I love some macaroni.
Mac and cheese is just the best. Like, I still think about 2019 when we went to Lightbox Expo. I think it had been like a couple months before. I'd been streaming with Deb Lee, and it kind of went off on a tangent, and she ended up promising to bring me Trader Joe's mac and cheese to Lightbox.
That's amazing.
And she did.
Oh,
she did bring me mac and cheese. She and her friend had cooked it at her friend's house before they came to Lightbox, and they bought me mac and cheese from Trader Joe's because I'd never had it before, because we don't have Trader Joe's in Australia.
Yeah.
And I sat and watched her talk at Lightbox and just ate it, and it was the best thing.
That is the coolest thing ever.
Still think about that mac and cheese.
How cool. Yeah, no, mac and cheese, best meal. I don't care if anything else gets put in it. I just want cheesy goodness.
Cheesy pasta goodness.
What am I using? I mean, I guess I decided I needed to go to the liner, the Max U liner, which is another wonderful brush that I just totally love. No, I don't want to erase. Makes for some nifty, tiny details for sure.
Gosh, now we're getting food comments in there.
Oh, yeah,
I'm getting hungry. Oh, man.
So hungry.
Might have to have mac and cheese for dinner now.
Yeah!
Lol bringing the good lasagna chat into the YouTube chat here. It's been a question around Procreate HQ for the past 24 hours is, if you have two lasagnas and you stack one on top of the other, do you now have one lasagna or two lasagnas?
Oh my god.
we ask the important questions at Procreate HQ.
Incredible. Okay. Oh my goodness.
Dave says you have lasagna.
Yeah, lasagna. That's cute.
Yeah.
Lasagna times 2. lasagna squared.
Taller the merrier. Oh yeah. God. Oh, look at those nice little highlights on the shoes.
Thank you. I'm gonna take. I know you guys won't see this quite yet, but I'm going to take pretty much everything off because I may have forgotten to do something, but I kind of want to now. There we go. And this is why, generally, you should save your colors into your little palette thingy. Pro tip, save your colors. Always. I'm putting everything back on. Okay.
Garfield bait. The answer to the lasagna question.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Fair. That is a fair answer. Very good. Christina says this looks like a cool LP cover.
Ooh.
It would make a really sick LP cover.
Well, that's neat. Thank you.
Temperature questions in the chat now. What temperature is it where everyone is?
Ooh.
Is it cold where you are, Bre?
Yeah, it is actually freezing. I think the last, let's see, what does it say on my phone right now? It is 18 degrees here in North Idaho.
And that is Fahrenheit, right?
Yes, and that means it's really, really cold.
It's really cold. 24 degrees Celsius here in Tasmania, in Hobart, currently, everyone. Not to make you jealous, but you know.
Yeah. Little bit. The wind chill as well has been just nuts. It's just been so freezing.
Oh, yuck. MCC DBO wants to know what made you decide to try Procreate instead of what you were using before? I think you mentioned that before Procreate you were doing what most people did and using Photoshop and a Wacom.
Yep.
So what made that switch to iPad?
Let's see. I think it was. I don't know exactly. I was using a lot of Illustrator at that time, and so I wanted to get a digital art degree or a job or something. So I was like, maybe I should just get an iPad and see what I can do with it. And when I found out, I'll go to the Apple store and they have the iPads. They had Procreate on one of the ones you can just use and stuff. And I started playing around with it and I was like, whoa, this is really, really cool. This is like Photoshop, but I could carry it with me. So I really like that. And I ended up just grabbing the iPad, and it actually helped me get my first graphic design job. So I am super grateful for it. Yeah.
That's cool. Where was your first graphic design job?
It was I was doing a logo for a friend at the gym, and
oh, nice.
And so I drew up their logo, and I did all the proper stuff. And then what's funny is that person sent it to another graphic artist in the area, and they printed it and everything. And that graphic artist hired me. And she she became my mentor for a really long time. I love her so much. And yeah, everything just kind of fell into place just because I got an iPad and Procreate.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So before you got the iPad, had you actually heard of anything on iPad that was going to enable you to draw, or did you just have this feeling that iPad was a great idea and went from there?
I guess, yeah, it may have been maybe a a friend telling me, like, this is what I use, and I've used it for a couple years now, and it's pretty awesome. I think that was actually one of my other mentors or teacher, great teacher in the area, and he's also a graphic designer. And I guess he'd been doing digital art for a really long time as well, and found Procreate, and I think he suggested it to me. Pretty sure that's what happened. There we go.
Tiffany wants to know, what was your first iPad?
It was the iPad Pro, first gen or second? No, I think it was the first gen. The first gen iPad Pro, and it was the big one. You know, had the button on the bottom and everything. So it was a great iPad. I freaking love that thing. And having the big screen and stuff is so nice, especially with like Procreate and stuff. It's so convenient. Not that I'm dissing on any of the other iPads, because I bet they're awesome too.
They actually are. It's really, I shouldn't say it's surprising, but any of the iPads currently for sale at the Apple Store are just such beasts. That's excellent machines.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
Peter, I had the OG iPad. It was so good at the time. Totally. They've still repping that Gen 1 right now.
Yeah, it was an amazing iPad. That thing lasted until I got this one. I mean, it lasted even longer. It was like, I just got this one because I wanted to upgrade, you know? Like,
yeah.
It's a great piece of equipment.
Such good iPads. I think my first one was the I think it was a Gen 2 Pro that I bought just before I started working for Procreate.
Awesome.
Such a good device. My dad bought it from me when I upgraded, but God, they're such good iPads.
Yeah. I sure do love this this brush, how it's working with the background and stuff. I think it's going really well. Like
do you want to remind everyone which brush that is?
Yes, this is the Pastel Flat Max or Retro Max Pack brush. And it just gives some cool, like, flat strokes.
Nice.
Super fun. I like them. I'm not going to try to go super, super hard on that background. There are still definitely things I'm going to be fudging around with when this is done. It still definitely needs a lot of work, but I think there's one thing in the background I can show everybody, that one of the cool effects that Procreate has that I love so much is that which one is it? The glitch one.
Oh yeah,
I love it. It's so neat. And I did a little bit of, it looks like I did some artifacting on that background. So it fit really well. I'll probably do that too, maybe on the characters, but I'm not sure. I kind of want them to stand out a lot. Maybe on her lollipop, make it look like it's like futuristic or something.
Oh, that could be cool.
Any other questions?
Any questions, guys? In the chat? Just all discussing our first iPads.
Oh, that's so awesome. Let's see.
Radish rocking the first iPad mini back in the day. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Nice. It's so small. The new iPad mini is great as well. The number 5. I think Nikolai Lukrichin has one of those, as well as his Pro, and takes it everywhere like a notebook.
Oops. Okay, so that's really dark. Sorry. There we go. I'm adding another multiply layer. I do this a lot. I'm sorry. But I want to do some, like, deeper shadows. So we'll see how it looks. Yeah. And this is where I have to have fun and decide where my light source is. Actually, I'm just gonna...
Oh, the age-old question from Christina. How did you settle on a style?
I don't think I did. I'm terrible with the whole style thing. I don't think I have like one particular style, because I'll go back and I'll draw like things like old ways, I guess, older ways that I used to draw a lot, or I'll kind of learn new things and then I'll draw some different ways, and it's always changing for me. So it's not like I have a specific style. There are things that I like, that I do. Like, I tend to gravitate towards like, not noodly, but like very rounded shapes and stuff for my character. So I use that more in more of my pieces, or I'll like do other things less that I don't like so much, or just not at all. So I think it's like a constant learning process for me.
And Dave wants to know, do you have any color theory background, or do you just eyeball palettes and say, yeah, that's the one?
That's a tough one to say. I think I learned a lot from like reading those books, like how to draw books and like how to do these things. And then I learned a lot from watching movies. Like I've been a huge fan of movies for such a long time that I think it does in a way come sort of naturally. But yeah, I do tend to look at colors and kind of know what looks good with another color.
Oh, lucky.
I guess.
What a great skill to have.
What I wanted to update just a little bit here. What I'm doing right now is I've put a multiply layer above the characters, and I've used, right now it's a blue tone. It's a blue color for multiply, and it looks okay, but I'll be messing with it a lot probably to decide what really looks the best as far as the shadow goes. But like, I also want to remember that the light behind them is a cool tone. It's blue, so I'm probably going to change the color of this shadow to be warmer tone so it really looks good and pops off the page.
This is really cool for you guys to be seeing as well, the use of multiply as shadows for your artwork. I don't know if any of you have tried doing that before, but it's a super cool way to be able to do shadows and highlights if you go back the other way and use some different blend modes.
For the bar sign and that stuff, like the big bright highlights, it wasn't like my favorite thing to do. I kind of wanted to make it a little bit more painterly, and I probably will after the fact, but that layer is a vivid light layer.
Yeah.
And it is like, it looks like I've got 3 different colors in that layer. I think I had like teal, blue, and pink to kind of like really give it a very weird like lighting effect there. And then I also used Gaussian blur just a little bit on that one. I don't know. Is that how you pronounce that? I hope that's how you actually say that. I've only ever read the word. Gaussian?
Yeah, Gaussian. I'm pretty sure it's Gaussian.
Yeah.
I think it's Gaussian. I think I know that because the first tutorial I did with that particular feature for Procreate, I pronounced it as Gaussian in my Australian accent.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so many people in the comments were like, oh my God, what are you saying? It's
Yeah.
what are you saying? No, and I was so embarrassed.
I've never like actually said it out loud.
Oh, well, that's the problem. I'd never said it out loud before. I'd never heard anyone else say it. So I was like, yeah, Gaussian, that works.
Yeah,
No.
that's perfect.
No.
That is, but that's how I did like kind of the blurry, like highlighted look to that sign. And I tell you what, I learned the whole Gaussian, however you say it, technique way back. I don't actually like that. Way back when I was learning Photoshop stuff, and like I had one of those DVDs, and it was like,
oh yeah,
how to draw this anime figure on Photoshop, and you puzzled together your little anime character or whatever, and then they taught you how to do the effects and stuff. And that's how I learned like multiply and the Gaussian blur, and then like other weird effects like noise and stuff like that. But I mean, it works for now. It's okay for now, I think. I don't know. We'll decide later.
Christina confirms for us it is Gaussian.
Gaussian. Okay, thank you. I will try to remember.
Mateus just wants you, if you would mind, Bre, to backtrack a little bit and just go back to layer 12 and explain to him what's going on there and how the characters are tinted. He got here late.
Okay, so this 12 layer is a multiply layer, and right now it's set to 56%, I guess. And what I did was selected the characters that I had in layer 6 and layer 5, and then I took the multiply layer and I just threw pink into the character selections, and then blue on the outside. So without them, I'll just take everything out here and then multiply layer. So when you take everything out, it's just them in pink and the background in blue, and it affects the layers below it so that they appear like they have like this pinkish light or hue around them and to them. And then the teal on the outside really affects everything else, like the background. I thought it looked nicer that way. With the teal, like, and the effect that it had on the light and the neon kind of look. So I was like, okay, that looks cool. I like it. And then what?
I hope that answers your question, Matthias.
I hope so. And what I'm working on now is some more shadows. So that's another multiply layer. And eventually I'm probably going to flatten a lot of this stuff down and make it more like blended sort of and cohesive, and like kind of paint around some of these really harsh edges, because I really don't want that look. I'll make it a little softer and stuff and kind of match the background a little bit better, like those cool lines with the flat brush, you know. Right now I'm just using the blend, I guess, for the shadows, but it's not perfect. It's not really what I'm super going with at the moment. I'm just kind of laying things out, basically. And I want my light. I want my light to be justified. So we have light coming from the back, but I'd really love if I could make his face look more sinister with the shadows. So I'm trying to fudge with it and trying to decide how I can make it look more sinister by justifying the light. So I'd have to have like maybe an off-scene light happening, or maybe like, I don't know. I'm going to have to decide how to justify the light on his face so that it looks, like his eye circles are super dark and scary. Because he's a bad guy. We don't want him to look like cute,
No, he can't be friendly and cute.
Exactly.
Any more questions in the chats, guys? We've been streaming for about 2 hours now, so...
We've been streaming for 2 hours?
Yeah, right? That's what YouTube's telling me. It's like 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
I'm so surprised.
So we might wrap it up fairly soon, everyone. So if you've got any questions, please put them in the chat now.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
It's gone so quickly.
It has. I did not expect it to do that. I hope everybody's having a good time with this.
I think that they all are.
Awesome.
Christina's got to go, but she has had a great time and can't wait to see the final piece.
Yay! Yeah, I'll make sure to post everything on Instagram. And this kind of has obviously 2 different versions, so I might post 2 different things. We'll see. If I even want to go back to that other version.
Peter says, bad guys are cute too, though.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. That's adorable. Yeah, this is fun. This is really looking cool. Bring new life to these characters created years ago.
I love his little highlight stripes in the fringe there. Excellent.
Thank you.
Like some 90s bad boy feels coming back.
Heck yeah. I was hoping that would go over well. Yeah, this is fun. I don't want to do probably too much detail on his hand right now. It's not really what I'm looking for, but something will happen, I'm sure.
Infinite Caption says, when did you start drawing? Because that looks real good.
Oh, a few days ago.
I think Infinite Bre did a little sketch for us prior to doing the stream, so it was the characters were sketched out, and she's been showing us her coloring and lighting process for this stream, which has been super informative, and I can't wait to go home and try it for myself.
Oh my god, that's too cool.
I'm sure there's lots of other people in the chat. I think I saw someone there a little while ago saying that they were drawing along with the stream.
No way! Oh, I can't wait to see! That's so cool! Yeah, I'm gonna... There's a few things that I'm going to be changing for sure. Like, I'm like, it could look better. But that's really cool. I'm so just like honored and flabbergasted. Whoa.
Oh, we got people from Argentina, people from Malaysia joining the stream now.
Oh,
Hello.
it's been a while.
Oh.
Oh, is my cat on the stream? I'm so sorry.
No, he's not on the stream. It's fine. Sorry, everyone. Bre and I are on a Zoom call at the same time, and her cat just jumped up in front of the camera and scared me on my computer.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, man. So cute, though.
He is wonderful. The best cat. That is so funny. I'm so glad he didn't mess it up, though. Press all the buttons.
Classic cat move. Yes, Radish, definitely.
I'm currently messing around with the shading on his pants because, again, I am undecided on this like other light source that I might do. So we'll see what comes of that. Probably it's like off-screen light source. I don't want the lighting to come out of nowhere. Pretty much, I feel like that would be kind of weird. But also, I mean, they're like covered in pink, so we're gonna have to decide that too. So. I guess for my smudge tool, I'm using the natural pastel brush. It's a little soft, but that's okay.
People agreeing on the cat thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll take me a while to really decide what I'm doing with this.
Peter's got to head off. Bye, Peter. Thanks for hanging around.
Thank you.
Just can't wait to see the final results.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Probably give it a couple more minutes, Bre, and then we might sign off for the day. I'm sure
so.
You've probably got to go and eat some food at some point.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much to everybody who is like here and and watching me do this, and you know, it's like it's really crazy, totally cool. don't want to do too much of the smudge tool on there, but I will be doing some. I don't want to make it look overly blendy and soft and stuff.
Tiffany, this is something that Bre has come up with. It's not a movie. What's the word for that? Still. It's not a movie still.
Not a movie still. It is probably super inspired by movies, but you know. Because I bring that a lot into my stuff. I love movies. I think her chin was looking a little too weird.
"7:30 a.m. for Abdurrahman. You're with us really early."
Wow, thank you.
3:30 in the afternoon on Sunday for Australia, and I believe coming in like 8 o'clock for you, Bre? 8:30?
Yep, 8:30
p.m.
Yeah.
See you, Radish. He's got to head off.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, what's your favorite animated movie, Bre?
Ooh, Spider-Verse. Sorry, Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Little big smudge. Have to fudge around with her face a lot. I'm not super happy with like the shadows on her face yet, but I'll get there eventually.
India, Mexico? Wow, people from all over joining into this.
That is so cool.
Dang.
I really appreciate it, everybody.
It's really cool to see everyone back. It's been like, I think, over a year since we did a stream on Procreate's YouTube channel now.
Goodness.
Yeah. Our last streams were in 2019. 2020 was a bit cray for that.
Well, yeah. Darn it.
Oh, Arcadia says, I have Bre's Gwen and Miles print. It's beautiful.
Yeah, she's amazing. Well, we'll see how that's going here.
1:30 in the morning in Brazil. Mateus, what are you doing?
Oh my goodness, what the heck?
Whoa.
I'm gonna see. Maybe. Sorry, I added orange into the shadows, but it's not really like working. We'll see. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to keep like really working on these shadows. Yeah. Well, I think that's as far as I'm gonna go for now. It's a lot.
Cool. All right. Well, we might wrap it up there, guys. Massive, massive thanks to the incredible Bre Gotham for joining us on our first live stream of 2021. Our first live stream in over a year, and her first live stream ever.
Thank you. Yes, thank
My goodness.
you.
So I expect now that probably people are going to be asking that of you on Patreon and that sort of stuff. So you should consider it, Bre, because it's been awesome.
Thank you so much. This has been super cool. I'm absolutely honored.
So guys, if you haven't come across Bre on social media before, you can find her at bre.gotham.art on Instagram and Bre Gotham Art on Patreon if you'd like to go and support her there as well. The links are in the caption of the video, so you can check them out there if you want. This video will be downloaded and re-uploaded to YouTube later on, so you'll be able to watch the whole thing again if you came in late or if you missed some of it. And of course, this artwork will be available to see in full on Instagram when it's finished after.
Yay!
All right. We'll leave it there then. We will leave the stream. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good night, good day, good morning, wherever you are.
Thank you.
Bye.